Come on, talk to me. Talk to me. We don't have to pretend here. Not on this podcast. Not on this podcast. Whereas when you believe, yes, I believe I'm blessed. Yes, I believe I'm abundant. Yes, I have gratitude for all that I have. And because I have gratitude for all that I have, I know I have more to come to. Yes, I have a strong desire. Yes, I know that source flows to and through me because I am doing the work of that which is higher than me for the rest of humanity, for the future generations. I'm not just here by mistake. I'm not just here by mistake. Okay? Let's continue. Let's continue. But it's about allowing. When you are in a state of gratitude, you are allowing new experiences to flow to and through you. We don't like the end of the chapter said, we don't pick the starting point, get midway there, and then go back to the starting point. No, we continue the journey, we keep going, and we do whatever it is that we need to do in order to get whatever it is that we need to get. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace, blessings, and mercy be unto you. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lit Chat Lounge, where we read the latest books, okay? And as y'all know, we've been working on Asking It Is Giving. Y'all, look at my tongue. I was taking a turmeric shot, turned it into a tea. Now my tongue is orange. Anyway, so if y'all see that, just know I brushed my teeth today, I promise. Anyways, so last chapter we read chapter 6, and we talked about how worrying was imagining things that you are creating that you really don't want. And we also talked about how the law of attraction is one of the most powerful universal laws in the universe, and how, law of attraction essentially is a receiver, right? You receive that which you put out. So when you have your setting point to a certain part, right? We talked about the radio and how the radio is tuned in to a certain station, right? That we can then take that and then move it and decide where our emotional guidance system is. We also spoke about, what else we talk about? Chapter 6 was actually longer than the other chapters were. We talked about how when you ask, it's always given, and there's no exceptions, and it's all about allowing, right? We talked about allowing and not necessarily resisting things. There seems to be a huge thing on resistance. So as we go into chapter 7, we are continuing. All right, so let's get straight into it. Chapter 7, you are standing on the leading edge of thought. We like to refer to the place where you are standing as the leading edge of thought. For as you stand there in your physical body, in your physical environment, having your physical experience, you are the furthermost extension of which we are. All that has ever been before is culminating into that which you now are. And just as all of your experience from the time of your birth into your physical body until now has culminated into who you now are. All that has ever been experienced by all that is has culminated into all that is now being experienced in the physical life experience on planet Earth. As every person on your planet is having experiences that are causing their desires to be born, a sort of mass summoning is occurring, which literally equals the evolution of your planet. And so the more you interact, the more your personal preferences are being identified and radiated. And the more of your preferences that are being radiated, the more are being answered. As such, a powerful stream of source energy is now stretched out before you, from which your individual personal preferences will be received. In other words, because of what so many have lived and are living, and because of the summoning power of so many of their desires and well-being of your future experience is well in place. Let me read that one more time. In other words, because of what so many have lived and are living, and because of the summoning power of so many of their desires, the well being of your future experience is well in place. And in like manner, your current desires will in turn provide an energy stream for future generations to benefit from. If you can desire it, the universe can produce it. If your involvement in your time space reality inspires within you any sincere desire, then the universe has the means to supply the results that you seek. Just because your ability to reach for more expands with each achievement that came before, the expansion may feel breathtaking to those just coming to understand the power of it, but it may feel absolutely normal to those who have already come to understand and expect well being to flow constantly into their experience. The stream of well being flows even if you do not understand that it does. But when you consciously become aligned with it, your creative endeavors become so much more satisfying. For then you discover that there is absolutely nothing that you desire that you cannot achieve. It works whether you understand it or not. It is not necessary that you fully understand the complexities of this eternally expanding environment in order to reap the benefits of that which it has become. But it is necessary that you find a way to go with the flow of the well-being that is stretched out before you. So, in that effort, we offered these words. There is only a stream of well-being that flows. You can allow it or resist it, but it flows just the same. You would not walk into a brightly lit room and look for the dark switch. In other words, you would not expect to find a switch that would flood an inky darkness into the room to cover the brightness of the light. You would find a switch that would resist the light. For in the absence of the light, there is darkness. And in like manner, there is not a source of evil, but there could be a resisting of that which you believe is good. Just as there is not a source of sickness, but there could be a resisting of the natural well-being. Let me read that one more time. And in like manner, there is not a source of evil, but there could be a resisting of that which you believe is good. Just as there is not a source of sickness, but there could be a resisting of the natural well-being. Y'all know we're going to talk about that. Without asking, you will receive no answer. Sometimes people will compliment Esther for being able to receive the wisdom of Abraham and for putting it into written or spoken word for others to experience and receive benefit from. And we also add our appreciation to that. But we also want to point out that Esther's receiving and translation of our vibration is only part of the equation. Without the asking that precedes it, there could be no answering. The people of your times are benefiting dramatically from the experiences of those generations that preceded you. For through the experiences that they lived and the desires that were generated within them, the summoning began. And today, you are the ones on the leading edge of reaping the benefits of what those past generations asked for. At the same time, you are continuing to ask, and you are now summoning, and on it goes. So, can you see how if you can find a way to allow it, there is an avalanche of well-being at your fingertips, ripe for your plucking, provided you are in vibrational alignment with it? And can you not see why, since there is never a crowd on the leading edge, you are not going to have a lot of people you can talk to about this? These days, there are some people experience intense hardships or traumas, and because of how they are living right now, their asking is in a heightened and intense place. And because of the intensity of their request, Source is responding in kind. And although the person who is doing the asking is usually so involved in the trauma that they are not personally receiving the benefit of their own asking, future generations or even current generations who are not right now disallowing are receiving the benefit of that asking. We are giving this to you by way of helping you understand there is an unlimited stream of well-being and an abundance of all manner of things available to you at all times. But you must be in alignment with the receiving of those things. You cannot stand in resistance of them and receive them at the same time. Open the floodgates, let your well-being flow in. See yourself right now, right where you are, as the beneficiary of the powerful stream of well-being. Try to imagine that you are basking in the flow of this powerful stream. Make an effort to feel yourself as the leading edge beneficiary of this unlimited stream and smile and try to accept that you are worthy of it. Your ability to feel your worthiness of the powerful stream of well-being will undoubtedly depend on what is happening in your life right now. Under some conditions, you feel utterly blessed, and under others, you feel not so blessed. And it is our desire that as you read this book, you will come to understand that to the degree you feel blessed and expect good things to flow to you, this indicates the level of your state of allowing. And to the degree that you do not feel blessed, where you do not expect good things to come to you, this indicates your degree of resistance. And it is our desire that as you continue to read, you will feel able to release any habits of thought that have resulted in your disallowing of the stream. We want you to understand that if it were not for resistant thoughts you have picked up along your physical trail that are not in vibrational alignment with the stream of well-being, you would be right now a full receiver of that stream, for you are a literal extension of it. You and how you feel are all that is responsible for whether you let in your inheritance of well-being or not. And while those around you may influence you more or less to allow or not allow that stream, it is ultimately up to you. It's all up to you. You can open the floodgates and let your well-being, or you can choose thoughts that keep you pinched off from what is yours. But whether you allow it or resist it, the stream is constantly flowing to you, never ending, never tiring, always there for your reconsideration. You are in the perfect position to get there from here. Nothing has to change in your environment or in the circumstances that surround you for you to begin to deliberately allow your own connection to the stream of well-being. You could be in prison. You could have been diagnosed with a terminal illness. You could be facing bankruptcy, or you could be in the middle of a divorce. Or you could be facing bankruptcy or in the middle of the divorce. We had to emphasize those. Still, you are imperfect. You are in the perfect place right now to begin. And we also want you to understand that this will not require a great deal of time, for it only requires a simple understanding of the universal laws and a determination to move toward a state of allowing. When you drive your vehicle from one place to another, from place to place, you have an awareness of your starting place as well as an awareness of where you are going. We're going to talk about that. You accept that you cannot get there instantaneously. You accept that you will travel the distance, and in time, you will arrive at your destination. And while you may feel anxious and to get there, and maybe even tired of the journey, you do not get so discouraged at the midway mark that you just turn around and go back to your starting place. You do not drive back and forth from your starting point to the midway point and then finally collapse from the never-ending journey. You do not announce your inability to accomplish your journey. You accept the distance between your starting place and where you desire to be, and you continue to move in the direction of your destination. You understand what is required and you do it. And we want you to come to know that the journey between where you are and where you want to be on all subjects can be just as easily understood. Those last chapters, that's the last sentence is what the whole chapter is about. Let's get into it. Y'all, this chapter is so deep. I'm about to go back and listen to what I just read. I'll be right back. Hold on a second. Y'all, this last chapter, like I said, I had to go back. I had to listen to the audio again and read along. And feel free to listen to the chapters again. These books, like I said, this book is so dense. Do not be fooled by these 5-page chapters, okay? Don't be fooled by these 3-page chapters. This is a dense book. This is a dense book. This is exactly why I started off with this book. Not only did I start this podcast off with this book, but I started my journey into law of attraction and manifesting and coming into the life that I now live because of this book, of being open to this book that expanded my consciousness. And this is one of the toughest books to understand. It wasn't until I got into the thought world and everybody else was telling me, yeah, I read Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, I read a different book. Oh, I read this and that. And I was like, I read Ask and It's Given. And everybody's like, you started off with Ask and It's Given? This is it's not difficult to understand. It's just that it is very dense. And where you have density, there's a lot of substance that is compressed, right? It's like, imagine it's concentrated. Right? That's how I explain it. This is concentrated information, right? You ever had, it's like the difference between having juice concentrate and regular orange juice, right? When you have juice concentrate, what do? You get the juice concentrate, you add the water, and then you serve it, right? Whereas if you have the orange juice, you just serve the orange juice as is. But when it's concentrated, whether it's concentrated into a tablet or it's concentrated into something else and frozen, or whatever it is, however it comes, you have to put water on it to allow the substance to come about, right? So this, even though this book, it even looks thick. It's not as thick as it could be. If these chapters are less than 5 pages and it is dense. So we're going to go through this. I literally had to listen to this twice and I had to read it again because there's so much information in this. And this is why we're doing this together. There's so much information in this. There are going to be certain things that, yes, we don't talk about. And that's not because I don't want to talk about it. It's just because I want to keep the podcast in between 30 and at most 45 minutes, right? That we have to process these things together. And if there are things that you want me to cover, feel free, write in the comment section and we can talk about it into the next one. Because I do read y'all's comments. If y'all don't notice, I respond to the comments as well. So whenever y'all DM me or whenever y'all do X, Y, and Z, I do. And y'all are the one that gave me the idea of, oh my gosh, I should be putting these books and all this stuff that I'm doing onto my TikTok and onto the Instagram, which is going to happen. We'll probably get into doing that probably next week or so. But there's a lot of things that's happening, moving around, because when you start allowing things to come into your life and you start getting in the vibration, and we're all reading this together and we're all elevating together, when we start doing work like this, we start manifesting a lot at the same time. And when we manifest a lot, we don't quit, right? We don't, like the end of the chapter said, we don't pick the starting point, get midway there, and then go back to the starting point. No, we continue the journey, we keep going, and we do whatever it is that we need to do in order to get whatever it is that we need to get, right? And so that's what we're doing, okay? So let's go ahead and get into this chapter, because there's so much to discuss. There's so much to discuss. All right, so getting to the first part, it talks about how, and just as all of your experience from the time of your birth into your physical body until now has culminated into who you are now, all that has ever been experienced by all that is has culminated into all that is now being experienced in the physical life experience on earth. So basically it's talking about all life forms that have gotten us to this point, right? Every generation that's come before us, all the other people's desires, wants, needs, the things that they've accomplished, they've gotten us to that leading edge of thought, that point, that set point that we now get to start from. We are at the starting point of someone else's desire that once wished that they could be that at the end of their life. And we are at the starting point of their desire. Does that make sense? So for example, our ancestors wish that they could read books, right? We are starting at the starting point of reading books. We don't wish we could read books. We don't wish that we could do X, Y, and Z. No, we are already here. We are at the starting point of someone else's desire, okay? And that is something that's huge. The next point she says is, and in like manner, your current desires will in turn provide an energy stream for future generations to benefit from. So just as we achieve our desires, our goals, and the things that we want to do, guess what we do for future generations? We allow them to be at a specific starting point. So for example, you see the children, these new babies know how to work this technology better than the adults do. You know why? We had to come into the technology, right? We went from VCRs and cassette tapes, right, to CDs and DVDs, to now these children probably don't even know what those are. These children probably don't know what they are. They know what an iPhone is. They know what an iPad is. They know they can stream from Netflix, right? We didn't have those things back in 1999, okay? We had Blockbuster, okay? We didn't have those things. So these children are coming into this new stream of consciousness. But imagine, we had to come into that. That's their starting point. So they're able to run and chase and see a different vision, maybe even further than what we can, because they're starting from a further place. Does it make sense? Exactly. Okay. And so, in just like how they are, we are in the same manner. The people who came behind us, could you imagine trying to explain to somebody in the 1500s who's still riding boats the concept of a plane? Like, we ride planes to get to here or there. We don't have to use horseback and boats anymore. And they're looking at you like, are you crazy? And you're like, nah, it's like it's in the sky. We fly in the sky. And they're looking at you like, so who's flying in the sky? And you gonna get put in a mental institution. Yeah, literally. That's what happened to the man who discovered the radio frequencies. I forget his name. What is his name? Takola. No, not Takola. Different man. Anyways, he helped Graham Bell develop the telephone. But the point is when he was talking about it, they all thought he was crazy. Talking about this steel birds flying in the sky. Oh, I'm receiving words from the air. Imagine even trying to explain the radio back then. right? And so when we recognize where we are and how far we've come, we then recognize we're actually setting it up for the next group of creators as well. So it's not about us just, the more that we achieve, the more that we show the future generations that they can also achieve. And that's the goal, for us to be on the edge of our desires, but not just our desires, but as a human, having fun in this humanity, and building something that is bigger than us, that goes beyond us as human beings, that goes beyond our current mind frame and current mindset, because our children's children are not, maybe aren't going to think the way we do. They may have a more efficient mind than we have, right? And when they get on the deliberate, when they begin to deliberately create their reality, because we've gotten over the resistance mind frame and the resistant way of thinking, we now allow them to be in the allowing and in the flow of all that is. Yeah. All right. Ooh. This stuff is concentrated. I'm telling you, it's concentrated. Your creative endeavors have become so much more satisfying, for then you discover that there's absolutely nothing you desire that cannot be achieved. That's literally what we just said. Okay? Let's continue on. And in like manner, there is not a source of evil, but there could be a resisting of that which you believe is good. Just as there's not a source of sickness, but there is a resisting of the natural well-being. So where is your resistance? What is your resistance? Are you allowing, or are you resisting? Okay? And I like the part where she talks about, she says it straight. She says it straight for real. She said, so now you can see how if you find a way to allow it, there's an avalanche of well-being at your fingertips, right? Right for your plucking, provided you are in vibrational alignment with it. And can you not see why, since there is never a crowd on the leading edge, you are not going to have a lot of people you can talk to about this? So not a lot of people are in the mind frame of allowing, which means as you allow, as you elevate yourself, as you ascend, there's not going to be a lot of people that you can talk to about it, because they don't have the wisdom or the understanding that you have. So what is supposed to be normal, right? You're seeing it's crazy. Like, oh yeah, this mug is crazy over here talking about X, Y, and Z, allowing, and but it's like, no, actually you crazy, because you don't understand the concept of X, Y, and Z, right? So you're not going to have, there's the pool of when you ascend in consciousness is going to be smaller. Now that doesn't mean people aren't going to listen to you. They're just going to see you in a specific manner, right? They're going to respect you in a specific way, right? Versus anything else. So, ooh, it's so much, y'all. Then she says, so she talks about the indications of allowing versus resistance, right? Okay, so what indicates the state of allowing? Okay, so let's read that one first. You will come to understand that to the degree you feel blessed and expect good things to flow to you, this indicates the level of your state of allowing. Okay, so when you allow things to come to you, through you, I'm allowing, I'm so blessed, I'm so lucky, God loves me, I'm so amazing. Yes, it's coming, right? That is allowing, right? That's why they say to have gratitude. It's not about, be gracious for what you have. Yes, of course, it's about being gracious for what you have and showing gratitude and having gratitude for that which is around you that you feel blessed with. But it's about allowing. When you are in a state of gratitude, you are allowing new experiences to flow to and through you. Yeah. Whereas it says, and to the degree that you do not feel blessed, where you do not expect good things to come to you, this indicates your degree of resistance, which means that resistance Resisting and allowing are on totally different spectrums. You cannot allow something while also resisting something. You cannot resist something while also allowing something. You have to allow it to come. It will naturally sift and sort its way out, because when you allow it, you're coming into natural alignment with that which you want, which that you desire. Right? Now, this has nothing to do with saying yes or no or blah, 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 right? Because you're going to know what your yeses and your nos are based on your desire, based on who you are, based on your perspective, right? Based on the firm belief in who you are, right? You're going to know what to say yes and no to. It's not talking about what you say yes to, what you say no to. No, it's talking about allowing, right? Having that feeling of blessings, having that feeling of allowing, and not mentally imprisoning yourself by blocking things, right? You can block your blessings because you are not in the receiving mode, right? So instead of I'm supposed to be receiving, right? I'm receiving. When I'm praying, I'm receiving. I'm receiving. I'm praying, I'm receiving. We don't pray like this, right? Even in the church folks, you hear something, yes, you're receiving, right? You're not, right? No, you're resisting. This is resistance. Release, allow, release, allow it, allow that thing, allow it, open yourself up. Come on. Open yourself up. Amen. Okay. Let's keep going. Because we on this roll. There's a stream of consciousness flowing right now. Okay. And it says, right now, a full receiver of that stream, for you are a literal extension of it. You are literally an extension of well-being. We are an extension of well-being. Not you, we, us. And allow those around you may influence you more or less. To allow or not allow that stream is ultimately up to you. You will always have people who are on the resisting side, and you will always have people who are on the allowing side. Now, I like to call these people believers. Come on, because the believers allow. And then you have the disbelievers who are resisting. Okay, resisting the well-being, resisting the flow and the energy of source, resisting the blessings, resisting the flow, right? Come on, talk to me. We don't have to pretend here, not on this podcast. Whereas when you believe, yes, I believe I'm blessed. Yes, I believe I'm abundant. Yes, I have gratitude for all that I have. And because I have gratitude for all that I have, I know I have more to come to. Yes, I have a strong desire. Yes, I know that source flows to and through me because I am doing the work of that which is higher than me for the rest of humanity, for the future generations. I'm not just here by mistake. Okay, Let's continue. I wrote on here, I took a note to myself that it's like a dam, right? Like a dam of water. And so when you're resisting, it's like you put that dam in the water, and the water is let's say this is the dam. The water's flowing through. The water can go all through here, right? And then you put the dam in place, and the water stops here. So it stops here, and it flows here. It stops here, and it flows here, right? Whereas when you lift that dam, now the water is flowing all through wherever it needs to go. That is the difference between allowing and resisting. What are you resisting? What are you blocking? Right? When we're living our lives, of course, there's certain things that need to be blocked, and there's certain things that those are preferences, right? Those are other things. Those are something totally separate than what we are talking about right now. What we are talking about right now is the energy. We're talking about energy, not preferences. We're talking about energy. We're not talking about the identity of who you are. We're not talking about that. That's something totally different. We're not talking about what you say yes to, what you say no to. That's something totally different. Let's not confuse that. What we are talking about right now is that which you desire and whether or not you are allowing or resisting your asking. That's what we are talking about. Okay? So let's not get that twisted. Let's be very clear on that. Okay. Now, the last part that I want to go over is that she said, you accept the distance between your starting place and where you desire to be, and you continue to move in the direction of your destination. And she said, you do not get so discouraged at the midway mark that you just turn around and go back to your starting place. We don't ever go back to our starting place. No, ma'am. No, sir. We don't go back to our starting place. Just like in this book. We're not going back to chapter 1. What I need to go back to chapter 1 for? Go back to chapter 1 for what? Oh, well, we could have talked about X, Y, and Z. Yeah, we could have. But in the stream of consciousness that we currently were at, that's where we were at. And guess what? Everything that needed to get recorded got recorded. Yeah. And if we need to go back to revisit it, which we will do later on, sometime next year, we'll revisit this book. We'll revisit some of the lessons and we'll see, okay, let's see the things that we could have spoken. Because like I said, the book is so concentrated. The book is so concentrated that you get what you need from it in that moment. We got what we needed from this. And I guarantee you, if we were to even go back to this chapter again, there's going to be things that you hear and that you discover the third, the fourth, the fifth time that you listen to. And you know why? Because as we are continuing to expand in our own consciousness, as we are continuing to experience the lessons in which we read, our understanding of the topic, circumstances, and events that we experience begin to change. And it's not changing those circumstances, but our understanding of that. As we grow a wiser and more refined understanding, we start to understand, okay, I see what I was doing there, right? Oh, I see what I was doing there too. All right. Anyways, this is Lit Chat Lounge with your girl, Khadijah Toto. Okay. I can't wait to see y'all next week, right? Because today's Friday. I'll see y'all next week. I might post something this weekend. We'll see. Because I kind of want to read chapter 8 and 9 this weekend. So we'll see what happens. I'm open to it, but let's just see. It'll be a surprise, okay, if we do. Anyways, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Happy growing. Peace.